Oh, y'all, it is a Tuesday and I don't even know.
I don't even know about life.
Like, you guys are done American Thanksgiving, which means, like, I guess your holidays. You guys have like an official kickoff. We don't really have that in Canada. Like, we actually steal your Good Friday. And then it feels so stressful because all you see is like deals and sales and deals and sales.
But we're at work.
I know.
Right?
And then you're like, oh, do I get it now? And then there's the pre-Friday sales. Like, it's not even like.
Have you bought anything yet?
Nope. I have to though, because
I know.
I want one thing for my living room.
Yes.
So I'm waiting for the deal because I'm afraid though. But if on the Friday it actually comes like a different deal, I don't want to get the pre-deal. I want to get the Friday deal.
Exactly. So my husband just bought something, and we can only get store credit for it. It's not a big thing. And
what was it?
A jacket for a son that we did discount on, but to return it, you only get store credit. And the jacket's already more on sale than when we bought it.
Exactly.
And
so return. Oh, it's so annoying.
I kind of feel like, okay, I actually think that I like where our Thanksgiving is in October because I feel like it's separated further from.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do kind of feel jealous of this week for them. Like they take most of the week off. I feel like they all
go on vacation.
Yeah. They travel. They see family. They have big dinners. It feels like such a big holiday.
I totally agree. We're really jealous of you all. And then you have football.
Oh my God, the football. And then I'm like, I used to celebrate that. We used to like go to the States.
You and your husband?
So I got both, right? Because I would go to their family's house and do their big Thanksgiving, but we can't really do that anymore.
Are they going to do that?
Of course.
They're going to miss you.
Well, they don't do it like.
You would do it.
No. They do it, but they do it with like the other side of the family.
Oh, not you.
You know what I mean? Like not me, like not my family, not the people I'm related to.
Understood.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like my brother-in-law's family. But that's where we used to go too. But my other brother-in-law lives in London and they don't do that either.
And then you had kids.
I know. And, I would actually consider going to American Thanksgiving. But there's usually a hockey tournament the past 3 years. So
I was thinking
there's no way we could celebrate Thanksgiving when we're at a hockey tournament.
What I am going to do is
make a turkey.
No. I mean, even the food overwhelms me of what you guys have to do in America. Like, I feel like there's so many dishes that everyone like gets so hard into in traditions and like beans and squash.
What's your favorite side dish of Thanksgiving or Christmas? Or
stuffing.
Oh, yeah? You love stuffing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like it, the one from the box?
No, the one that is made for me at the store and I buy it, but not the box.
Fresh. And do you like it better? Do you like the stuffing from inside?
Ew, I don't know where they make it.
No. Like, so we get stuffing, but we use like total, like the one from the box. What is it? Like stovetop, like the good old.
And you love it.
Oh, it's all we eat. But we do it two ways. One, stuffing inside the turkey.
Yeah.
And then we need extra stuffing. So we also cook it a dish of it outside the turkey.
I mean, my brother's a chef. He deep fried the turkey for our Thanksgiving. It was like, everyone loves the deep fried turkey. They're like, oh my God, it takes an hour. Not even. You dip that baby in, you pull it out. Woof. And it's delicious and soft. And I mean, it's deep fried. What's not delicious deep fried?
I had one once. I had a friend whose dad was just like a crazy man, like your brother. And he did it. And I was like, I don't like turkey. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think I like it either.
I don't put turkey on I do all the sides. And by the way, just to take it back, I don't know what you call this kind of person, but we also do like the cranberry sauce from the can.
Yeah.
It still comes out with the ribs, like nothing fancy.
I think it's really important to note today, Nat and I were having a conversation on capacity. Okay. And all of our children have the same cold right now. And one of ours gets taken down so much harder than everybody else. Some people can carry on. Some people have a tiny cough, but mine just goes deep and dark and hard, like just like off the deep end when he gets it. And I thought, it's kind of the same thing with holidays and like the different components. Some people really like thrive in the stress and the chaos of holidays. Some people get really overwhelmed. Some people can't wait for it to be over. Some people love cooking all day. It's their happy place. And then you look and you're like, why don't I like that? Why aren't I good at that? And then you have to kind of some people hate buying gifts. Her name is Natalie. Giving back. I mean,
I like giving gifts.
Yeah, but buying just for the sake of buying.
It's very stressful. It's like, let's just go out and spend a whole bunch of money because it's time. And someone asked me, what do your kids want? And I said, maybe my kids take after me. Like, we don't have a list of things that we want. We don't really want anything. I would love an experience and I'd love a vacation, but I don't sit there being like, I want this, I want that, I want that. So it's really hard when it comes to the holiday season because you have to like come up with things to buy people who don't need or want, Also, the crazy thing about cooking all day long is literally start cooking in the morning and it's really fun. And, I love it because I'm always with family around in the kitchen. And,
I need someone to clean up after me.
But then it takes 5 minutes to eat.
I know.
That's the craziest part about cooking a meal is like it takes so long and then you're done. But it's so good. You want to eat it fast.
And then you have to clean it all up. And then you have to sit down with people you don't see all the time.
And
hopefully you like them.
I never clean it up.
You're really lucky.
Never.
I don't either.
No.
And I don't cook it.
But you host it.
I do host it.
I cook and host and I don't clean.
Yeah. I just find it
But everyone respects that. It's like, your role.
I do like that in America, you guys have it's like an expectation that you get together and do something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like we have that in Canada. I feel like people don't really take holidays as seriously in Canada, where it's like you have, if you're not together, there's something wrong with you. Here, I feel like we're kind of like, well, if it works, or I got plans. We don't, it's not like you're flying across the country to go see your family. I feel like the airports are never so busy at Thanksgiving. I feel like at our Thanksgiving, I don't see people getting on planes to go see their family.
I think also, and I've always thought this as having an American husband, that the difference for them with all of it is that sometimes they come from cities, but the majority of people come from outside of a city. And then after they go to college, all over the United States, they get a job. And then they move to that place. And then they marry someone usually not from their town. Whereas in Canada, everyone just drives. You don't have to fly to where you're going. And a lot of people come back to where they're from if they live in a city or they just live. We're all so condensed here. We all come back and we live around our family. Whereas I feel Mark's friends are scattered all over the United States. People, move to London. Americans are everywhere, so they have to fly more. And their country's so much wider and broader.
They do it.
Yeah. I was also thinking my family always gets together for the holidays. Thank God.
Not all of you.
No, I mean that live in Canada. Thank God, because you would think that if your family all lives in the same city, that you would see them all the time. Or if someone moves away, you're like, oh God, I'm never going to see it. Sometimes you end up seeing them just about the same amount, only at holidays.
Yeah.
When you got a big family and people live all over the city.
I know.
It's hard to get together.
And then the in-laws steal, the in-laws.
Yes.
Really, there is something about the daughters and the moms.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree with this, but in our experience, and I know it's not the experience of people who maybe just got married and are younger than us, I and maybe aren't even married. In our experience, so at our age, in our demographic right now, the moms and the mother-in-laws, the mom and the daughter, are the primary center point of the family. I can't think of someone where it's the dad and the mom, it's the mom and the mom.
So this is a really good example.
Did that make sense? What I just said? Okay,
yeah.
I wasn't sure.
And then a perfect example of this is, and this is something to think about if you're a mom of boys. My brother-in-law's mother had 4 boys.
My brother-in-law's
mother had 4 boys.
Who?
Nat's mom.
Okay. That just took me a minute to
4 sons.
Have a thought of what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 4 sons.
4 sons. I have a riddle like this, by the way. That would be really fun. 4 sons. So instead of trying to fight with her daughter-in-law's family, because we know the daughter and their mother usually are really close.
Yeah.
She decided to officially host Christmas on a weekend a couple weeks before that works for everybody. So not being like, oh, you were with the other family that year. Well, now you're going to be with us. She makes her own weekend. They wake up just like it's Christmas morning. They do the whole thing. What a flexible mother-in-law, right?
Yeah.
And so she does it so that, and
everyone still shows up no matter what.
Everyone shows up no matter what. No one has to fly. Again, they all live in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Vermont. And then at Christmas, The women get to go off with their families and do whatever they want to do.
Wow.
That's so smart of her.
Are we going to lose our 4 boys? So if they marry someone traditionally and have a traditional relationship, are we going to lose them?
Yeah, I think that I'm going to take a page out of her book. I think she's so smart because I feel like people get like, oh, you're going to spend Christmas with them. When would you spend Christmas with me? I was one of my family. She didn't play that game. She made her own rules. She made her own game and she let it fly. So if, our boys do marry, I mean, you've got one though, and you've got 2 girls. So I feel like he might want to come back more because there's everyone but him.
Yeah.
Whereas if I have 3 boys and they all have wives, at least there's a lot of them gone. It's just Taylor at home. Taylor's staying with me.
Till she's 30.
Like she's the daughter, so she'll be here. You know what I mean? Like Max has more to miss out on if he's not here. Because the majority of you will be together.
I know. And I'm fun.
If it works out that way. Yeah. And and like who knows? Like,
and then what if you don't like their what if you can be the nicest person? What if you are like the coolest, nicest, like you are the
us?
Well, listen, I only know me for me, but like I don't know what a girlfriend or boyfriend's going to think of me. They might be like, your mom's too much, your mom's overbearing. Like I don't,
because it'll be based on not necessarily like what you actually are, but what you are in comparison to the way that she grew up.
Yeah, and I can also see like one of your kids not liking the chaos when he gets married.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can see his family be like, I don't really want to go back to that. Like and have right? And so it depends on whether or not they like the way they grew up, because they'll grow up and maybe not like the way they grew up and be like, I actually want nothing to do with that. That was overwhelming for me.
Because we hear that all the time.
Well, yeah, because it's the way we want our kids to grow up. Doesn't mean that's the way they wanted to grow up. Like realistically.
Yeah.
So the chaos doesn't always match their personality. So going home when they're adults would be like a nightmare for them.
Or in the opposite case, if you have like a really quiet family and he meets her family and it's so much fun there, he's like, I don't want to go back to that. Yeah. It's boring there.
Yeah. You never know. Like you really never know what you're going to shake out as, but they definitely have to have an opinion. Their spouse is going to have an opinion on what it's like.
But what if you do not like his
or
girl?
her? What if I don't like the husbands or the people?
I'm just sticking with this for now, because I feel like that happens a lot, that the moms don't like their daughter-in-laws.
If I don't like her, he won't be with her. Hard fact.
Wow, it's not what I thought you were going to say.
He won't.
You're going to murder her? I can help.
No.
I have all the deets.
No. No, I think that I would be really careful with how I said it and what I did, but I would be cautiously I'd be welcoming, but I wouldn't. He's gonna know when I like someone and when I don't, and why. And I'm psychic. Like I'll know.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm in tune with myself enough to know it's not my insecurity. It's like I'm not nervous of someone taking him away. I'm not nervous of it being like, oh my God, you're getting more attention than me. Like I don't need his attention. I don't need my kids' attention. I don't need their adoration. I don't need their love. What I need is if I had one piece of advice for each one of my children, it would be with someone who lets you be totally you in every aspect of you. Don't become something you think that they want you to be. And when you are coming home and inappropriate or say something funny, I don't mean inappropriate like rudely. I mean like, we're not the most class A people over here, that they don't eye roll you, that they're like, that's hilarious. That you show up as every version of yourself and you don't have to put on a front for someone. Because
what if he doesn't have to put on a front for her, but he likes her, but you don't?
Then I would be okay. Then if he's happy, I'm fine with it.
Right.
But as long as
I guess we're gonna like them if they respect our people.
Yeah, that's my point.
And I think that's sort of like what you see that happening a lot. When moms and families are like, I'm tolerant of your partner.
Yeah, I'll like everyone if they're good to my children and if they are like kind and they make them better people. But if they're dick bags, I'm gonna say there will be zero tolerance for dick bags in my house.
I also don't want like my sons to be with like a head case who's like always on a fucking emotional journey.
Yeah,
because a lot of guys kind of like a girl like that.
We used to. Maybe. But I do feel like it's our job as parents to raise them to know themselves so fiercely that they don't need something outside of someone. They choose someone to be a partner to them, not to like fill something they don't have. So I think if we raise children who are like, you know, so fiercely strong in themselves, if someone doesn't like that, they're not going to like them regardless. So I think a lot of I don't know if we were raised to know ourselves really well. I think we, by way of being fuck ups, learned ourselves really well. And I don't think many people got that opportunity to learn who they are because they lived a certain path.
You know, when you meet someone who you just feel like knows themselves and it is so immediately obvious. I have someone recently that I've met that I just can't believe like how comfortable he is in himself.
And her, we've met a girl too.
Yeah, a young girl. Yeah, I'm talking about a grown up.
Okay, and a young girl.
Yes, and a young girl. But this grown up, it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, he's very different than other people, but like so confident in who he is and feels like he's had the experience to understand himself, you know, and when you meet someone like that, it's so easy to be around them.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't fallen in love with anybody behind your back. You know, it sounds kind of like I'm in love with him. But he's just comfortable. And
is he new in your life?
Yeah, pretty new. But he's it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
You know, because
But that is work.
Because you feel that in adults a lot, that they didn't learn to know who they were. They basically, their parents told them what they were for all of their lives. And now their parents aren't beside them every day. And they're like, wait, what?
Do you want to know my biggest ick?
What? Is it really the biggest? Like above all?
I mean,
okay, top 10.
When you know someone outside of a role that they're in. So you knew them when you were younger, and then you see them as an adult, and let's just say you have a professional relationship with them.
Professional, or also like maybe they're at your kid's school or they're on your kid's team, so you're in a new social kind of setting.
We know each other.
Yep.
I've seen you dry hump.
Yep.
I've seen you get wasted.
Yep.
I know you.
And I really don't believe that you're not the same core person that you were.
And I mean, we don't need to talk about it, but like, don't call me by my first and like my last name. Like, hello. Like when I know you as a teenager, we go back in a different way.
Dude.
So like when I see you,
get real here.
And you're married with children, dude, I watched what you did.
I know.
Just be like, hey, how are you? Not like, oh, so nice to see you. No, fuck no. Like, you're not that different. Yeah, you grew up, but come the fuck on.
I ran into one that I hadn't seen literally since high school. And he came up and I really hadn't followed along. I didn't know what he was doing in his life. He's not on social media. He did not know what we were doing. Like legit. Like did not. Because then after he's like, holy shit, I just went on my phone. I talked to my wife. What the hell?
Yeah.
And it was like back to high school. He was just normal. We were like talking and it was like no time had passed. It's like, that's what's really in there. Like
that's a person. That is who you are as a core. Like if you can be okay with who you were, arguably at your worst version, like I would say high school is your worst version of yourself. I'm not going to say that's your best version. And if it is, check yourself on that one. Like who cares? Yeah, you know everything. You know I was a massive fuck up. You know that. You know that about me right now.
Plus, if we had good times and we laughed together, then we had good times and we could have them again.
Like just like let's drop the niceties. And you know what? Confident people don't have to pretend to be a role. They are just who they are. And there's an instant ease where it's not like this role that people play when it's a dance. When you first meet someone and you pretend to be like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. And no, just like, let's have a conversation like two people rather than like who we are supposed to be. I don't care if you don't like me. I'm not, we're just meeting for the first time. You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you. Let's just have a conversation here and move on. Like it doesn't have to
make
be
it awkward.
No.
Just be normal.
Oh my God.
I had, and also if you ever knew them, don't pretend you didn't know them. And don't be afraid that you say to them, I totally remember you. And they're like, sorry. That happened to me. And I was like, I know you. I know you. Now, there might be a good chance that like I knew him. Like, let's say this guy recently, I knew who he was, but he had no idea who I was. That's fair. But I'm not going to pretend that I don't recognize you. I
know.
recognize you. Where do I recognize you from? And then it was funny. This weekend, I ran into an old acquaintance from
Happened
Toronto.
in Vancouver. When we were
Which
sitting
one?
there. When we were sitting there, I'm like, I do. He's like, I know you.
Oh, he was great.
No, I know, but I was like, oh my God, because he looks very different.
Yes. But
And I was like this.
it's so amazing when someone comes up, like, even if you like go up to someone and go, I don't know if you remember me, but I totally remember you. And
I would have walked right by him.
Yeah.
Like I would not have been like, oh, like he came right up to us.
That was really fun. They really wanted to party with us.
That was he knew. He was like, no. And they kept being like, why are you talking to these two girls?
And then they sent over a drink. That was nice.
He did, yeah. And then everyone's like, why are you talking to them? He's like, I know them. Yeah, really? Yeah, literally, yeah. I know them.
Yeah. But when I ran into the old acquaintance, I even said to her, I go, how do I know him? She's like, oh, everybody just kind of knew. I'm like, okay, got it. But I'm not ashamed to say, I knew you. I knew you when. And also, it's really fun to reminisce with old friends because talking like with one.
What do they think? Like, do they not want to be that person they were? Are they so afraid to be like that person? Or to me, it like screams insecurity. When people say to us,
I don't know why they do it.
They're like, you're the same person online that you are in real life. And I'm like, what would be different? And how could you possibly have the energy to be different than you are online? It's very confusing to me that you could be multiple people without, you know what I mean?
I think the only thing that might be tricky for us, and I'm taking this into consideration, is that sometimes people might think that we think that we're a deal.
Nobody's a deal.
I know, but they might think that we think that. So they're like, okay, so she's like doing all this stuff. She thinks she's this. But then when you talk, it's like, same person.
Literally.
Someone said, I knew her when she wasn't like this. And I'm like, she's exactly like this. Nothing has changed.
It's so funny. Yeah, popularity is such a loser thing. It's so loserish. I'm like, literally, it's nothing. It's really, my daughter summed it up so perfectly. If you have to be wasted to say hi to people, you're really insecure because it shows that like you don't feel good enough about yourself to even put yourself out there to say hi. Younger, right? But like the popular kids who can't say hi but can do it when they're wasted, obviously are insecure. If they can't, like, if they are like, I love you, I like you so much, you like that person, but you're too insecure to say hi to them. And I feel like that's adulthood too. Like you walk by them and you're like, I know you. I see you all the time. Hi. Hi. Like, what are you judging? I do it differently than you. No big deal. And we don't even stop to think about other people. That's what's so crazy. It's like, I don't even think about the way other people do things. Like I really, truly have no time to judge other people because although my daughter said I was really judgy in the car because people were walking with mad faces. I'm like, wow, they're in a bad mood. That's judgy of you. I'm like, well, their body language is telling me right now that they're in a bad mood.
She calls you out all the time.
It's her favorite thing to do.
I know. It's the dynamic is. It's like I'm front row seats to the best show.
And then what she said, she called me slow the other day. You're so slow. I'm like, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, I do have learning challenges. It's mean. And then she said to me, not like that. Yeah. Like you're slow to the thing. And I'm like, whatever. You know what? I made you, so you're probably slow too.
She's like, no, I got my quickness from my dad.
Literally. I'm like, just so you know, you're really lucky to have me as a mom. She knows it.
Of course.
But God, she's hard on me.
Right? She is. It is a hoot and a half.
And then she's the sweetest person in the world, but she's also just fierce with me. And she was with, well, you know what you want me to do? You want me to just go wasted and have fun? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't even care. I want to go to bed. I'm glad you're home because I don't want you out. Like, I'm like, if you're out, I have to stay awake. So I am very happy that you're in your room asleep. And I'm like, you have friends. I don't care what you do. That's great. You have a great life. I'm like, what you think I want you to do is the exact opposite of what you think. Like, I'm like, stop thinking about what I want. What do you want? Stop thinking about me. Start thinking about you.
She's doing a good job of doing exactly what she wants.
She's very good at doing what she wants. And then she was like, all stressed about her grade. I'm like, you're doing this to piss me off right now.
Because I don't give a fuck.
And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, 100% you are. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start caring about your grades. So you're like, no, I'm not going to get good grades.
Oh my gosh, right? I even like yesterday there was a kid that came out of the locker room. He always comes out. I said it reminds me exactly of a cross country race when one kid comes like 10 minutes before the other kids.
Yeah.
And you're like, how is that kid so much faster? Like they're in a different world. He always comes out of the locker room so fast. I say to him, I said to the parents, I go, it's so funny how he can get ready so fast and get out. And number one, how everyone else is slower, but also that he doesn't want to be in the locker room with everybody else. He has zero FOMO of what is going on.
That is so
there.
funny because you know who's last in the locker room.
Yeah.
My son.
But I'm like, doesn't he want to know what they're doing, what they're talking about?
No, he's on a mission.
He doesn't leave. He walks around, climbs the thing, chats with the parents. He doesn't want to leave. He just wants to get dressed fast. And he's a really confident kid, and the kids all like him. But I'm just like, that's so interesting of you, because literally 10 minutes or more, the next kid comes out.
I do want to let you know that she got the giggles last night. She got like hyper, and then she drew on her sister's pictures upstairs, her school pictures, like put devil horns
on the ones in the kitchen. That's naughty. What did her sister say?
Ooh.
I can't imagine.
Ooh. So she was doing cue cards for science, and Chloe was testing her. We couldn't even say the names. It was like alkali. Okay. Where in the periodic table is something? I couldn't even say the words. Okay. So she was dying that Chloe and I'm like, Chloe, you try. So Chloe's trying to like do it. Like, you know where one of these science thing is? Through a fucking staircase. Literally, it's called through the staircase. I'm like, what?
What do you mean?
Like, one is like, where is number 17 on the thing? And the answer is through the staircase. Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, you're getting pranked right now. Anyways, I'm like, Chloe, take it away. Cue carding her. So she's getting hyper and laughing and giggling. And then she goes and takes Chloe's picture down and starts putting devil horns on her. And Chloe.
Did you order the pictures?
No.
She
got it off.
How'd she get it off?
I don't know. She figured it out. But Chloe was just like, went to bed and
She got it off of the pictures?
Like Dawn or something.
Without ruining the picture? Yeah, because we don't buy the pictures. You know the samples that they send? Yeah. That's what we put on the fridge.
She went to bed and was just like,
I could picture her being so mad.
Livid.
Plus, those pictures have been sitting there proudly.
Mm-hmm.
She likes them.
She loves them. Oh, yeah. She is so...
Olivia feel bad?
Well, she laughed her face off. And then she was like, you put devil horns on my picture. It's hilarious. Okay, I couldn't laugh. That was really funny.
I'm thinking, I can't even imagine my boys doing that to TJ's.
So Olivia's laughing like in hysterics, which has been so long since she's got the gig, like been crazy like that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm glad to see your sister's like hype, because she would get so hyper and be naughty. I'm like, I'm glad she's back a little bit, because I haven't seen this in a long time. And Chloe was like, you are the meanest sister ever, and like storms up to her room.
She has had the meanest mom and the meanest sister all in one weekend. Are Dad and Max off the hook?
They're never here, so yeah. He'll get on the hook there, don't you worry. You are. And then went to bed and wouldn't talk to me, mad at me because of the sister.
Yes, of course.
I'm like, how can I help you right now? I want a new sister, a nice sister. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, I got to tell you one story along those lines.
Go ahead.
So we have this thing in the Telford Thompson house where it's like the biggest diss you can imagine. When you are the maddest at a person in our house, you do this one thing.
What is it?
You rip the sheets off the other one's bed.
That is terrible.
So TJ goes up. Before we went to hockey,
they can never go to camp, by the way, because that's a prank that they do, and they think it's hilarious, and it's like a beautiful thing if your bed gets overturned. So no, if it's the biggest diss, TJ would rage and probably kill the camp.
So I heard Tucker. They were playing mini sticks downstairs, and I heard Tucker walk upstairs to his room.
Okay,
so he's mad. I didn't know what he did in there, but when he came out, he was kind of normal. So I was like, oh, I guess it was nothing. So we come home from hockey early, and TJ goes up to his room.
Last night?
Yeah, and he goes, who ripped the sheets off my bed? And I go, oh my God.
You knew right away?
I knew. I'm like, I was dying laughing. I when they all got home, I was like, to the whole family, I was like, Tucker did the worst thing you could do. He ripped the sheets off and then hide the guggies. You hide the guggies and rip the sheets off. And because Teddy started, he used to do it to Taylor all the time. And now it's been a while since one of them did it, but it is just.
What did TJ do?
Well, he was like, I didn't even know he was mad. And I go, the ultimate diss, just like how you got in trouble from Chloe for what Olivia did,
Yeah.
is who has to put the sheets back on the bed?
You.
So really, he's taking it out on me because he can't get the sheets in the court. Mark and I tuck the. But we all laughed, including Tucker, because that is a Telfer Thompson diss. Like, that's the worst you could do. I mean, punching them in the face isn't as bad as ripping the sheet on their bed.
And you have to deal with it.
It's not even the bottom one, just the top sheet in the duvet. It's not even that bad. But he must have gotten his anger out, ripped the sheets off.
And been okay with it.
Felt better.
And then walked in like, I feel great now.
Oh my
I'm
God,
just
we
going to
were
leave the bed
all
like that.
Dying laughing. I mean, you could do a lot of bad things.
Yeah, rip the sheets off.
The sheets off your bed.
Not even when they're in it.
No.
Like if they're in it, that's terrible. But when they're not in it, well, my daughter put devil horns on her sister and thought it was a funny.
I can't believe she survived.
Well, I had to basically say, I'm like, Chloe, go to bed. And she was like, this is, oh my God.
On that note, I'm thinking to myself, I heard stories, and I bet your brothers were a part of it. My brothers were not, but like the older generation, like your dad's, if he tells pranks that kids used to do back in the day, an example was a very nice family, a nice boy on a street, didn't like the neighbor. They wanted to prank them. They opened the window and they put the hose and they flooded the basement. I remember people throwing cats like downstairs, like
cats.
Yeah, like as on a slide. Like people used to do really, really, really naughty things. Now it's like rip the sheets off, put horns on the picture. Like kids can't get away with shit anymore.
I know. We used to hang the other ones, like stuffies off the front porch. Like we'd hang them from the porch, hanging like they were all hung.
That's funny.
So they'd walk home and all their stuffies would be hung.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
We put hay in my brother's room, a full hay
That's
barrel.
a good one.
Yeah.
My step siblings, one of them threw all of his clothes out the window onto the front lawn.
That's bad too.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But back then it was like, and even before it's like you could do all this shit.
Yeah, there was no social media.
Now you're like, send them to juvie.
I know, it's too bad. You can't get away with shit anymore.
You can't get away with shit. Ripping sheets off and horns. You can't do worse.
Yeah, you can't do worse. We'll send dick pics. That's pretty bad. Okay, y'all. Thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all soon.